Today on The Big Picture, I'm sitting down with one of Hawaii's top visual storytellers, Scott Lee Mason. Born and raised in Kailua, Scott's path has taken him from creative writing into the world of film and television, where he's made a name for himself behind the camera. He's been recognized for his work on The Wind and The Reckoning, and he's also worked as a camera operator and second unit director of photography on Magnum P.I. Whether it's narrative films, documentaries, or commercial work, Scott brings a sharp eye and a deep connection to Hawaii's stories. We're going to deep dive into his creative journey, his experience in the industry, and what he sees for the future of filmmaking here in the islands. Let's get into it. So thank you for coming on the show, Scotty. You're the man. Like, I've learned so much from you on set. Like, I tell people all the time, it's like having like a encyclopedia on set, and to the point that we were just talking about, from gripping, it's labor, but yet, you're shaping light, you're being an artist. I think that's a good point, is no matter where you are, what position you're at in filmmaking is kind of what you make of it. Right. And if you are just there wanting to be labor, you could be that and you get good at that and you're valued. But if you want to learn more, all it takes is for you to go ask questions. And you've been that guy on set for me that I can always ask questions. So thank you for coming on.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, back at you is what I appreciate about you, and what we need more people to be inspired by what you do is you care about the story, you care about what's going on, and so you're paying attention on set. And said so many people are stuck on their phone, or just want to be laborers. And when we do these smaller things and everybody's invested in the story, it is so much better.
Mm-hmm.
If you watched, Magnum was a good example, even Hawaiʻi Five. There's a lot of people on set that weren't invested in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was just a paycheck.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm thankful for that paycheck. We're all thankful for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we were just philosophizing about it, myself and one of our famous first assistants we were just talking about. He's like, it's so refreshing. Like, everybody here knows what's going on. They know what the story's about. They know what we're going to do next. You don't have to go find them.
Right.
It's really nice.
And
that was you. My point of that whole long story is that's what you always were.
Well, I actually, kind of pitched it. I would pitch it as that, like, say, working with a new key grip. It's like, I feel like I'm more than a grip. I'm a filmmaker. And like you said, there's people who are grips. There's people who are electricians, greens, and construction. And that's all they focus on, which is fine, right? That's like,
and we need that.
We totally need that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have your filmmakers who are grips. You have your filmmakers who are electricians, and when you engage and identify yourself as that, I think it's easier for, like you said, to be invested in the story, right? And, you've been doing this for what, 30, 40 years?
96 is my first TV job.
Wow. And so you went Punahou, right?
I went Punahou, yeah. Class of 90.
That's okay.
I know, you're Iolani. Hey, I was in Punahou in all of the 80s, and white guy, so teased my whole life for being Punahou, right? And I definitely regretted it. Like, every day it was just kind of miserable. Every day after graduation, I was thankful for it, because it was like, man, college was easy. Like, just the way I thought about things was easy. It was just a different mindset that they taught us there. That's different.
I get that. And every year I try to leave Iolani. Like, literally, I go into the counselor's office. Like, this is not me. This is not, like, I don't get along well with people. I'm from Kalihi, and I was like, felt like I stuck out, and
you probably would have been great at Punahou then. That's some serious. That's
well, they encourage. Yeah, they encourage me. No, but this is the thing, right? Like, they encourage me every year. No, stay. You can do this.
Oh, yeah.
And then literally the day I graduate, I'm so grateful that I went to Iolani and got the opportunity. You know, I look back on it like how ungrateful was I, and especially my dad working as a grip, paying for me to go to Iolani, right?
Wow, that's good.
Only for me to become a grip, which he did not want.
But you're a filmmaker. You're not just
I'm
a
a
grip.
filmmaker. So just a little side story, but you went to Puno, and was it at Punahou that you were thinking you're gonna become? Because a lot of people, just like Iolani, like you're not going there to be a filmmaker. You're going there to be a doctor, a lawyer. Did you have any inkling that you was gonna become a filmmaker at Punahou?
It's funny you should ask that. So like you looked up, I did. So I used to play baseball at Enchanted Lakes in Kailua, right? I'm from Kailua. And my dad bought a video camera that you had to attach the VCR to the video camera. So it was two pieces. So at home, it was like the tuner part of the VCR, and then there was the tape deck part. There were two different pieces. You took the tape deck with you, attached it to the camera, and you could film.
Oh my God.
Because it's like early 80s, right?
Right.
And so we had that at our house. And of course, me being the Kolohe kid that I've always been my whole life. By the way, I always thought that Kolohe was Hawaiian for Scott my whole life growing up. I had no idea it was Rascal. Because all the aunties would always be like, "Oh, you're so Kolohe, you." But so I take the camera and I start making movies as a kid. I start making claymations, magic tricks, because I realized that if you hit record and stop and then change something and hit record and stop, it just magically changed.
Right.
So I would do have stuff move around. I would do animations, Lego animations, and then I would take the tape and I would dub it to another tape and then do voiceover. And so I'd make a movie
Wow.
as like a young kid. It was crazy. And then we do music videos. This is like Quiet Riot days, you know, that's to date me. And so we did all of that. And Punahou, I wasn't interested in Punavision at all. And ironically, my classmate, Matt Jensen, who filmed Wonder Woman, who's like a legendary director of photography.
No.
Yeah. Was the guy. My classmate is at Punavision filming us playing football. Right. And this other, Brendan McBride, he became this editor. So the two of them are at Punavision with Dahlquist, who was our like linebackers coach, who kept always telling me to go there. And I just was like, no. And I just didn't do it.
Oh my God.
My parents had instilled in me that filmmaking was not a career. That was the 80s. They were like, you got to go be a businessman. You know, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to go to school for. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I grew up watching UH play football, and I played football for Punahou, and we did well, except for St. Louis. You know, St. Louis killed us our whole life, and that was the 80s. Everybody. We beat them my junior year.
Whoa.
Yep. That was the only time, yep. But not my senior year, and not for varsity ever while I was there.
Right.
That was crazy. But so I watched Gabriel come back, beat BYU. I think it was Ty Detmer got the Heisman, and then we beat him at Aloha Stadium, losing our minds. And I love football, and so my parents met at University of Miami, and graduate school at Florida, and so they used to always watch those schools, and I saw them. I'm like, these guys, that's football.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We go and watch the Hula Bowl. Deion Sanders is in the Hula Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I watch him get an interception and then catch a touchdown, and I'm like, what school did he go to? Florida State. And I'm like, oh. And so I applied to USC. I applied to Boulder, Colorado. Ironically, my friends with worse grades than me got into Boulder, and I didn't. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
We can examine that later.
Maybe not enough volunteer hours.
Maybe not enough volunteer hours. And I wanted to go to Boulder pretty bad because they were pretty good at football then.
Right.
And then...
it's a cool city.
It's a cool city.
Yeah.
But I got into Florida State and I got into University of Florida. And so I was looking at them and I was like, oh, Florida State's closer to the beach. I'll go there. I had no idea that I was going into the dirty South.
Right.
Like no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. But I went there for football, and I just happened to pick the best school for the 90s. Like there's probably no better school than Florida State in the 90s.
And you know what? Maybe the 2025, they're looking good this year, man. They beat Alabama the first game of the season. I'm an Alabama fan through my partner.
I know.
But that was a great game. You guys are looking really good.
I love Alabama 3 years, by the way.
What was that?
I've only liked Alabama 2 or 3 years ever in the entire, because I do not like Alabama, but I love Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was rooting for them when he was there.
Yeah, you get a lot of Hawaii, Alabama fans for those reasons.
Yeah.
So you went to Florida State, and was it at that point what were you majoring in, or what kind of got you into filmmaking?
Can I say it? I was majoring in beer drinking and enjoying life. Like, it was the #1 party school in the nation. I had no idea. Being a kid from Hawaii, nobody believed I was from Hawaii. Right. And so I'd bust out my Banco. It was probably a Banco Hawaii card. It wasn't a Banco card back then. And my license and prove it. And I'd win free shots, free beers, free all kinds of things, because nobody had any idea. They're like, "You're not from Hawaii. There's no way." I'm like, no, I really am. And still to this day, people still don't believe that I'm from Hawaii. It's funny. But that's my Charlie Kramer story. So Charlie Kramer, one of our favorite electricians, we were on One Kind Day.
OG.
One Kind Day, and I was complaining about people not thinking I was from Hawaii for something. I was, joking around. And I was like, "Yeah, man, everybody thinks I'm from San Diego." And Charlie Kramer goes, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Kailua." He's like, "Same thing." I'm like, "I guess you're not wrong, Charlie. It is very much like San Diego."
Did you grow up with like John Lee or any?
I didn't know John Lee until the film,
because I think
industry.
I think he's Kailua boy too.
Yeah,
but yeah. And so you're majoring in partying.
No, but I was majoring in business. I was majoring in business, and but I was partying, and I wasn't doing great in school, but
normal.
But I did go to Punahou, so the first 2 years was so easy. Like, my Spanish book was the same Spanish book I had at Punahou. My English book was the same. I mean, it was crazy because Florida State, everybody teases me about it, but it's not an exceptional collegiate school. It's not known for its academics, that's for sure. It is known for its film school.
Really?
Only 16 people a year were accepted into it. Oh, wow. It started while I was there, but so I was going to business, and that wasn't going. I was not enjoying the business thing, right? And then I just kind of dropped out of school, and I was like, "I'm gonna be an actor."
Really?
Yeah.
No,
so I was like,
way.
"I'm gonna be an actor." I was like, "That's
why?"
I don't know. I thought I enjoyed it. I didn't know I was terrible at it yet, but I was like, I thought I'd be great at it. And
why did you see a production filming? You enjoyed movies?
I enjoyed movies, so I'm a John Hughes
just thought
kid.
It was cool, like.
So I'm a John Hughes kid. So like all those movies, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, that's all the stuff like I grew up on. So like I loved movies, Spielberg, all of Spielberg stuff, E.T.
Yeah.
Everything. It was like I was just in awe. My parents took me to Star Wars when I was still in California. This is the weird thing. I was born in California, came to Hawaii at 1. Then we went to Japan because we had to stay here to get all our shots and live here for a little bit. And then we went to Japan till I was 4, something like that.
Really?
California till I was 8, and then we moved to Hawaii for the rest of my life. So it's like a very strange
origin story.
It's why I claim Hawaii. Like, it's like my formative years, everything I knew was Hawaii. All that other stuff was just kind of my family. Yeah. And interesting. But all of the formative years of my life was all here. With everybody teaching me about the Ahupua'a systems, the Hawaiian culture, because we're learning about that at Punahou. We had a Hawaiian studies class with Pal Eldridge's brother, who's legendary, who was my coach. And no, Pal is the guy, Boy is the brother. And he was our Hawaiian studies teacher and my intermediate coach. So he was this gigantic Hawaiian guy, and he would never get up off his chair the entire class. And then at practice, he would walk around the football field, and we're like, "How are you doing that?" Like, we had no idea how you did that. But we would have to do a chant to get in, and we learned all about Hawaiian culture. And
for sure. Anyone who kind of grows up going to school here, it's, you grow up with learning culture, and thank God that they did that, right?
Thank God that they did that.
And I hope they never stop doing that. That's very important.
And you being from Boston, my mom's from Boston, and her grandmother's Mash P has got Mash P Indian, Algonquin Indian. That's the Indians that were there. So here I can do my first curse because I can say, my ancestors came over on the Mayflower and fucked my ancestors, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not from Boston. My dad is. I want to make that clear.
That's fair.
I did grow up a huge Boston fan.
That's fair.
Hence the hat. And people always ask me. And yeah, but I also grew up loving football, and I think that's how we get along so well is talking sports on set. And so you must have been going to some incredible games when you were at Florida. But what you ended up just saying, this is not for me, and you
No.
you got a job. Did you stay in Florida at that point?
So I got kicked out of school for not paying tuition, and then reapplied as an in-state, which was genius, right?
Right.
So my tuition went down to like $700 a semester or something,
my
or
gosh.
$900 a semester, and and somewhere along the lines, I gave up wanting to be an actor. I figured out I wasn't that good at it. I remember I did an acting gig at school, and I was playing a part, and it was at a theater, and all the lights go out, and I got to start my scene, and my scene is I got to do something, and I'm just shaking, like
Yeah.
all the lights are off, and I'm like, oh my God, this is an entire theater. These are like real theater people, and I'm gonna have to act in front of them. And so when the lights came on, I think it was a 10-minute play that I was doing. I did it in 5 minutes because I was like, and then I realized it wasn't my thing. And my mom kept going like, look at Ron Howard. He's like a legendary actor and he's making movies. If you're interested in acting, you should just go make movies. And so my friends and I, we just started making movies at Florida State. And it was like somewhere around 96, I got a job because of Tarantino working at a video store. I got a job at a video store, Suncoast Motion Picture. And then from that, I got a job at PBS. From PBS, I got a job at a 24-hour news channel. Then I got a job at this Mike Vasilina Productions, where I was a nonlinear editor, graphics designer.
I was going to say, was it mostly for operating, editing, just production in general? Or?
So I operated at PBS. PBS, I was a director, technical director, a tape operator, camera operator. And we had cameras similar to what's here, except there were these big ones. We call them the gold wing of cameras. And they had like a bus driver's wheel, and that's how you moved them around the studio.
Oh yeah, these are kind of.
But these were like big though. But yeah, but it's the same idea.
Right.
It's just like that. And then you could ped up and ped down, and then you did focus and stuff like that. Charles Pride, I have to give a shout out to Charles Pride because he is a legendary man. He was a quarterback in Tallahassee or something, not for Florida State, for like I think he went to FAMU or something. But like he was probably one of the smartest people I've ever met in film and television. And he taught me things I still use today, which is crazy. Just at PBS. He was a genius, beautiful man. It's kind of why I have this mentor idea, because he told me he was paying us $5.50 an hour. And he said, come in whenever you want. He's like, just come in, I'll pay you. It doesn't matter. Just come in, go sit over there and learn something. Go sit over there and learn something. Just come in whenever you have time and I'll pay you. And I did that for like 2 years until I graduated from college. And I never told you, and I changed my degree to writing.
Oh, okay.
Because I still think story is the most important part of filmmaking. And anybody can learn how to use a camera. Anybody can learn how to light. You can even hire people that know how to light. So I wanted to learn about story.
What kind of made that click in your head? Like, hey, you know what? If there's a skill I should actually learn in college, it should be writing.
Tarantino and Rodriguez. Yeah, because I mean, I just would read all the stuff about them, everything they were doing. They always had that. They always encouraged young filmmakers, saying, just write something, make something, do something. Rodriguez said something that stuck in my brain for the rest of my life, and that is, if you want to go make a film, and you're like, I need to go make something, think about someone in your family. You're like, oh, my uncle owns a bar. Okay, my uncle's got a bar, so I'm going to write a story that's at a bar because I can go shoot at that bar. Or my uncle's got a Corvette. I'll write a story about a Corvette. Think about resources that you have that are free and write your story with that. You know, and that's what Rodriguez did with El Mariachi.
That's super smart. Yeah, and I think that's one of the advantages of working in production before you actually make your own movie or something, because it all comes down to money, right? Unless you have a ton shit of money that you can use any location and you know, rent out anything. You want to be realistic about things, and people, honestly, creativity is birthed out of being broke.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And that's where all the good stuff happens. I mean, you've made a bunch of little films, right? And then I'm sure some of the things you're really proud of that you've done.
Yeah. No, I'm actually very ashamed of a lot of them, but I'm very proud of how much I've learned out of each one,
I remember you did like
you
a
know?
PMP thing, like
Yes,
because we were
I
doing
did it.
PMP on 5 so you did like a PMP, and I was like, that is genius.
Yes, a title that I will never say, of the short film I did for Showdown, and I've said it in this podcast before, but I was working on Hawaiʻi Five, and Tori had convinced me to do a short film, and so I wrote it while we were working, and then by the end of basically the day, I had Angie allow me to use the grip truck, the full I think it was like a 1-ton grip truck, like a splinter package one. I had wardrobe ladies pull me like a full wardrobe for all my
Yeah.
characters.
Wow.
And then I asked her if I could use the studio for P&P. So we did like legit P&P in there. And my actresses are smoking like fake blunts in the studio, you know. So it was fun. But it wasn't until that point that I took everything else on set seriously. Like when I was gripping for probably about 7 years up until that point, and all my brain told me to do was grip, right? And
Make money.
which is like make money, but also do my job to the best of my ability. But at some point around the 5 or 7 year mark where you start to master that skill, and when I did my own short film, it made me realize how important sound was, and it made me actually go, oh, those are the
yeah.
sound guys. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what that person does, you know? And so it made me very aware, and it helped me help them do their job because I gained so much respect for it.
Yeah.
And once I started doing that, I became better as a grip because now people are looking at me going, oh, this kid knows what he's doing. You know, this kid knows the process of what's going on. And so I say it all the time. The best way to learn is making your own film.
That's what that's the big debate now, and that the Tarantinos of the world keep telling everybody, forget film school, take that 20 grand and go make a film. You'll learn more with that 20 grand. The advantage to film school, and why people, if they can, they still should go, is networking, meeting people, meeting other people that you want to collaborate with. That's actually, in my opinion, what college is for. Like everybody, I don't think everybody's made out for college. Like, I don't think college is right for everybody. I think we need more vocational schools so people can go do that kind of stuff too. But I do think college is valuable for meeting people and finding like-minded people that you can go do stuff with.
I mean, that's what Punahou and Iolani is for when you look at it in a way too. It's like you're kind of paying for a network, and once you're kind of in that network, and it is very valuable, you know, and in a lot of aspects it does give you an advantage. But nowadays, like you said, how easy is it compared from when you were growing up or started in it to make your own movie to now?
I mean, it is so easy, but I do put on the table Robert Rodriguez. So that's a long time ago, and he made that thing for $7,000. So you're 100% right. It's way easier to do it today. But what's more important than the technology is the drive to do something, to tell a story. Rick Rubin has this great thing I save, because AI is the buzzword everybody's talking about. We could go talk for like 10 hours about AI. He says AI will never have a point of view. And take AI out of the equation. The whole point of trying to encourage more filmmakers is we need more points of view. If anything, the last 4 years hasn't taught me, I mean, that's what it's taught me the most, is we need more points of view, because so much media slants the views into two windows, right? The left and the right, right? And we need more views of people to tell their story from their personal experience. I don't mean their opinion on whatever political thing. I mean their opinion on life. You know, how to just be a better person, how to live life better, how to enjoy the world. It's why I've said since Punahou, since the 80s, that Hawaii could teach the world how to be. And it was the Ahupua'a system, the first time I learned it, that I realized that. Now, granted, there was a lot of things that probably weren't great in that system, the caste system and things that maybe we didn't like, but there was a lot of great things where they didn't overfish. They all took care of each other.
I agree. And I mean, still as we operate today on the sets that I work on, I think people do take away and learn, just on our industry level, they take away stuff from Hawaii, like
Yeah.
working with Hawaii crews,
Yeah, you're right.
how we do things. There's some things that they don't like
Yeah.
that are unique to Hawaii
Yeah.
and how we work. But I think there's a lot of things that they do like. I see people change as they work here, right? Personalities,
Yeah.
and to me, I take pride in that. Like that to me is the most important thing, that, whether we're taking them out and barbecuing with them and showing them how we live and respecting the places we're shooting at.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit odd. It throws them off a little bit when they come here, but by the
Yeah.
end of it, they completely understand, to working and respecting the people that you're working with, like family,
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I feel like we're unique.
Yeah. So back to your story, you end up, at what point do you come home?
Oh, that's a good story. So I was very fortunate that I got to work at PBS and learn all this great stuff. And then I got, as I graduated, I went right into 24-hour news network. So I was an editor, and I was doing not fun editing, but I called it the kung fu, because I was doing like this edit,
right,
this
iron
edit,
fist,
1,000 of them a day, and I was doing them as quickly as I possibly could. I had to get a 3-minute package done in 2 hours every day, right? And for like 2 years, and then I got hired out because I was doing all these nonlinear editing stuff because I was interested in that. So I started doing commercials for people. And back to when I was a kid and I used to do the magic tricks. That 24-hour news station that I worked at was called Florida's News Channel. They laid fiber optics all across the state of Florida, so I learned about fiber optics, right? And they had a blue screen, like everything was blue screen. It was all virtual reality.
Yeah.
Everything was virtual reality. And so I was like, hey, I can program that camera to do the same move over and over again. Well, if I can do that, I can do magic tricks for your commercials. So I would just have it repeat stuff, and I had them walk on the state of Florida. I had them do all kinds of things that was really easy to do from what I had learned, with my video camera as a little kid.
Right.
And so I do that. And so I get hired out to Mike Vasalinda. I'm doing really well with them. And 9/11 happens.
Whoa.
So 9/11 happens, which is a crazy story because I was hired to go film something for NASA. So I was going to go fly somewhere. They had sent this thing into space, a satellite into space out of recycled something or other. And I had to go film the kids who did it, film NASA for the people who helped them do it. And 9/11 happened, so we couldn't go, right? Because everything shut down. And then finally everything got to go. So I was on one of the first planes that got to go out, and I saw the Pentagon. I saw the big hole in the Pentagon.
Wow.
The craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it definitely looked like an explosion. It was a totally different topic. Like, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Really?
And so that happens. And so when I come back, everything's slowing down because video production can kind of be a luxury because it costs a decent amount of money. So everybody was pulling their purse strings back right after 9/11. And I was the second editor in Mike Vasalinda's company. And so he calls me into his office and he goes, well, Scott, you always wanted to go to LA and be a filmmaker. Now's the time to go. And I was like, oh,
that's a nice way to fire me.
Okay. And so I was fortunate that I got to collect unemployment. And so I just kind of waited tables and did whatever I wanted. And I met this kid whose dad was a colorist in LA, and they brought me out there. And so they brought me to LA, and I interned with them for a little while, lived at their house in Malibu. I used to catch the express bus and then skateboard to work because it was like the best life, From Malibu, I catch the bus all the way to Santa Monica, and then I would skateboard because I catch the express. I'd have to skateboard all the way back to work, and then I'd work. And that was fun. They were doing the Threat Matrix, and I got to work on the Real Cancun's first movie ever made. And the Real Cancun, that's where I learned Fusion, which is that's ironic. I learned DaVinci Resolve there and Fusion at this place. And now they're in the free software that everybody's using today.
What is Fusion?
It's like After Effects. It's a compositing software, but it was node-based. It was node-based back then. And node-based confuses people versus layers. Layers is
it's confusing me right now.
Yeah, node-based is smarter, just because it's easier to, if I want one node to affect 10 things. I can just draw a line between that one node.
And we're still using that now, right? In DaVinci.
Well, that's how we do color correction is
right.
node based there, and fusion in there is still node based.
Oh, okay.
But it's still like it's layers, and layers is just basically node based for dummies is what layers basically is. And so you're just like this layer affects this layer affects this layer affects this layer. Node is this node affects this node affects this node. You know.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
yeah, that totally
it's confusing.
For some reason it confused me when it's in the node. So you pick up a whole bunch of skills there.
Yep. So I do the real Cancun, and that's where I learned the digibeta. We were calling it clones. Oh yeah, I can't tell these stories. I got to
We
watch,
can always cut it. No.
I got to watch all the behind the scenes because it's the real world. And so the real world, they put all the cameras in the rooms.
Oh, the real world.
So it's naughty. They're just feeding them. They're just feeding them alcohol.
Yeah.
And they're just being naughty. And I'm watching all of this stuff because we have to dub it. We have to ingest it into
Thanks,
the
Scott. I grew up on that stuff, and look how I turned out.
But this is the movie. It was called The Real Cancun.
Oh,
and I don't know if you ever watched The Real Cancun. It's really funny. Is I took my parents when I came back home. I took my parents to the movie and made them watch The Real Cancun just so they could see my name in the credits at the end. I'm like, look, they're so proud of me, and it is not the movie you take your parents to at all. But so I did that, and so The Real Cancun was taking a little bit long to pay me, and it was a decent amount of money. And we didn't have any work. We were kind of in the middle of work in Los Angeles. My dad calls me up and says, I'm getting old. I could use help around the house. Do you mind coming home? Maybe you could help around the house. You could wait for the check. And then maybe you can go back after you've worked all that. Okay, so I come home. And while I'm at home, I'm watching the commercials. It's about 2000, I think 2001. I'm watching all the commercials in Hawaii. And I'm like, these are terrible. I was like, this is like, this is my home. Why are we making these kind of commercials? Like, this does not look, we can do so much better than this. Right. I was like, man, I should try to find the independent film scene here. And then I did. I found this guy, Dustin Cross, Hawaii. It wasn't Hawaiʻi Film Alliance. That's now. It was called Hawaiʻi Filmmakers Group or something like that. And so we started making all these little movies. We did Blood of the Samurai with Aaron Yamasato. We did Amazing Asian with Gerard Elmore.
And where were these being shown back then? Like in
HIF. Okay, a lot of HIF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of HIF stuff. There's one year I worked on like every film in HIF or something from Hawaii. It was crazy.
Where did you start out? I'm just curious because, a lot of people, maybe they need that inspiration on when you were here and you needed to plug in. How did you find that guy, Dustin?
The group. I went to the group. I went to Hawaiʻi Filmmakers.
Okay, so you just
actually it's from my sister. No, my sister here
who works
from Olelo. Yeah, Donna said there's this group Hawaiʻi Filmmakers, and there's this woman Dawn who wanted me to help her since I knew how to edit her film, and so then I went to Hawaiʻi Filmmakers and I helped her edit her film, and then I met Dustin Cross. Dustin had a bunch of gear. We just started kind of working with Aaron Yamasato.
Like, you're an editor?
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, you know how to do post-production?
Yes.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and camera. I know how to do camera and all that stuff.
Awesome.
Right. And what's ironic, I was at NAB, and do you remember Keiko?
Yeah.
Yeah, Keiko. She was like in the office, right? So we ran into her. I ran into Dustin at NAB. I hadn't seen him in a long time. Ran into Keiko, and we're talking at thing, and Dustin's like, oh, did you look at the new editing of Black Magic? I think they were just coming out with it. I was like, no, I haven't looked at it yet. And Keiko's like, you know how to edit? Like to me, and I was like, because she only knew me as a DIT.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, I had a decent career as an editor already. Yeah.
And so you ended up hooking up with them and Gerard Elmore. So we had him on the show as well. Great conversation with him. And those were the guys and that was the first time you met them and just started working on their films?
So Dustin Cross introduces me to Dustin Cross probably puts me on the set with Aaron Yamasato for Blood of the Samurai. And so we do Blood of the Samurai. Bob and Kyoki Smith are on Blood of the Samurai. Sean Hyatt does the jib on Blood of the Samurai. Kyoki used to tease me because I used to drink a lot of Cokes.
Yeah. Kyoki Key Grip, by the way, super OG. Local
who wants
key
to be
grip.
a gaffer.
Does he?
Yes.
No.
He is a legendary key grip, but he would rather be a gaffer.
No, but yeah, he could do it. He could do it. Again, he's a filmmaker.
So those guys, it was Kyoki, James Levy, and Lee Kaniakua. Those were my idols, and I worked with them on Japanese commercials.
Those are my
years.
mentors.
Yeah, me too. Like Lee taught me more than I'll ever know.
Yeah.
And so we used to do Japanese commercials because this is great. So I did. It's like, God, we're like in all kinds of circles here.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No.
But so somebody calls me and says, "Oh, do you want to work this pilot of this TV show? You want to work as a camera PA on this pilot of the TV show?" Sure. Yeah, why not? I'll go do it. I can do that. Sure. And so I go to do it, and it's Lost, right? It's the pilot of Lost, right?
No way.
Yeah, 2005, I think it is. And so somewhere around there, 6?
Was it? Yeah, no, 2004.
Maybe 4, yeah.
No, actually, maybe even
3?
3. Yeah, because I
2003.
was a junior in high school. My dad started working on that. My cousin Moku, Aina, all the fam, and I'm like,
So I'm doing the pilot of Lost. It's day 1. We're driving up to Jackass Ginger, and I'm there with the writers. And I'm like, and me, me, I like to ask people questions. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just standing there, and I'm my first day too, and I'm just like, hey, what do you guys do? They're like, oh, we wrote this, and I was like, guys, you must be excited. This is day 1. It's Damon Lindelof and Brian something, right? And they're just like, yeah, we're excited. And they're in the back of a truck. They're not in a car because this is like the beginning. So they're in the back of the truck with me. We're in the back of a truck stake bed just getting to set because we wanted to get there. And the funny story is, and J.J. Abrams is the director. Larry Fong is the DP. I mean, I learned so much watching those guys. My favorite first day in Jackass Ginger, I am not used to working on set.
Right.
Like I haven't done much in my life on set. And I haven't worked in the elements. Like I grew up in all these elements, but I haven't worked in it, right? And so they're like, oh, you need boots. So they give me the old boots like that you wear.
The neoprene?
No, this is before neoprene. It's just the rubber ones that you slide on over your shoes.
Yeah.
Like the ones that barely fit. And so they give me those boots, and I'm walking through Jackass Ginger. My foot gets stuck.
Yeah.
I pull my foot out. The boot's still there. The mud goes straight into the boot. And I'm like, oh, no, I got to get that boot. And so I just, stick it in.
And then the whole day.
Wet foot the whole time. But then that's how you learn, I guess, right? But that's where I learned from J.J. Abrams. He set 400 feet of dolly track, and I was Video Village. I was a camera PA doing Video Village. So I'm just talking to J.J. Abrams the whole time. I'm like, how do you do that? Why are you doing that? What's going on here? Just that guy the whole time. The whole time, just constantly harassing him for information. I gave him my demo reel at the end.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, he never called me. Of course not. But
JJ, if you're out there.
but what's really funny was I asked him, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I know that's going to take me 3 hours to set 400 feet of dolly track, and then we're going to use it. And then after lunch, we'll turn around and we'll use it the other direction and shoot the other direction in the woods. And I was like, that's genius.
Yep. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that, the great thing about Lost is you're in a jungle, and guess what? This part of the jungle looks like this part of the jungle and that part of the jungle. So there was a lot of cheats going on.
French reverse.
Yeah, but then you learn. And that's the biggest part of filmmaking is cheating things sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like in working on the little insert units, like I've learned so much of how to cheat shots, how to replicate things later on that you need to do. That's fun. I started my career on Lost, but it was like maybe I want to say 4th or 5th season, just kind of second unit. So we kind
of like 2009.
Yeah. 2008.
Tori Tupoff was already
dropped
there.
out of UH probably about 2008, 2009.
Did you do One Kind Day?
No, I missed One Kind Day. Yeah, was that one of the first?
That was like right at the end of Lost.
That's
why that was like his first operating thing, I think. After
he was
operating towards the end of Lost.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he was like, I know. It was early in his operating because that guy was a legend. Like he doesn't get enough props for mentoring all of us. Like he used to tell us to be silent assassins. Like that's what he would tell us all day long. And that's the Lee Kaneokua is exactly that, is just watch and then just go do it.
Oh yeah. I was fortunate enough to push dolly. Like the first time I touched the dolly and they let me touch the dolly was with Tori as the operator.
Wow.
And so and it was great because he was my boy, so it was like, it felt comfortable where like I'm not pushing a guy from LA at, A camera, B camera, I was C camera with Tori. And
he teaches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He teaches, he has his way, especially when you're his homie. It was like, but I still have, some of these funny video clips where it shows me and Chris like pushing dolly, like, being all serious, and then you pan over and it's Tori with his feet down controlling the dolly for us. Like we just was not hitting it right, and he finally put his feet down and took control over it.
That's a good point to talk about. People underestimate how important the dolly grip is. Like a good
We
dolly
should
grip.
talk about that, Scott.
No, but a good dolly grip really is a camera operator. Like people don't realize how much of a. So on my way to Hawaii, when I was waiting, I stopped in I worked on a short film for the guys from NYPD Blue, and they shot it on video. I knew how to do video, so I was like their tech, and then I operated on it. So I had Clint Eastwood's dolly grip, and I don't know what his name was. He was an older guy, but he was his dolly grip, and I was like the best operator all day long. Because he was just putting me right in the spot, and I had never done it before, and I was really good because of him.
Yeah, and when you're first starting off, it's like Tori taught me how to be in the right spot at the right time. Tori Tukuafu, by the way, we're speaking legendary. Like to us, he's a legendary camera operator. Taught, like you said, all of us so much things. Very encouraging to the young filmmaker at the time. Involved in Showdown in Chinatown. Did he start it? With so. Chris and
I believe they started it. Did he not start it?
To me, he did. I mean, he introduced it to me.
Well, it was his name. I know it was his name because they had to get permission from him to do it again recently.
Oh, they did.
And then I can't think of her name.
I know who
she's the one who says she owns it, and then Chris says she owns. I know nothing. All I know is that Showdown in Chinatown is a great name.
Yeah, I love it. They're gonna do another one, I heard, next month. So nice. That'll be fun. But yeah, so you get but where our paths like really, I mean, we probably were rubbing shoulders on Lost and didn't even realize it.
I only did the pilot.
Oh, you only did the pilot.
So this is my union story, which is probably a terrible story for me to tell, but I met the union rep, and I won't say his name. Why not? We just won't say that. And when I shook his hand, I felt like I was talking to a used car salesman. Right, because he's like, "Oh, come join the union," and I just felt like I was talking to a used car salesman because I didn't understand how the union worked. But what I got from the conversation was, "You're going to take money from me, and I got to find my own work." I was like, "No, thank you."
Right.
So I didn't even try to get in the union, didn't try to get on Lost, which was a mistake. I probably should have, and then just went on to do my own thing. So I was doing all these low budget films, making no money, not getting very far, but working on everybody's thing. And my friend, Mike Bacon, goes, "Oh, you know how to do video assist? You want to come do these Japanese commercials with me?
Yeah.
And you can join the union." And I'm like, no. And I don't want to do the union. He's like, "It's $42 an hour." I was like, "Oh, yeah." I was like, "Yeah,
tell me more about this thing.
And so that's why I did that. So I did that. I joined 665. I was in the union like that.
No, but that's the route. Japanese commercials or commercials, that's the gig.
That was the gig. I loved it. And with Harry Ladera, one of my legendary friends. And so I did many, many years of Japanese commercials, making a lot of money, enjoying myself, and it was super easy.
And they had a special visa for the Japanese commercials, right? And that's why you don't see it anymore. That visa went away. Japanese production kind of totally went away, but it was such a really good niche. Like, that was the gig.
So there's a few takeaways from the Japanese and the way they worked that I would love for us to emulate. Some of them. One, nobody ever stood in front of the camera. Nobody ever stood in front of the camera. That's crazy. Because on our sets, you're constantly saying, "Hey, can you move? Do you mind so I can see? Can you move?" You're always saying that. But nobody ever stood in front of the camera. Right. Now, I think they were a little more abusive.
So etiquette.
There's a lot more etiquette, but they also were a little more abusive to each other. We are abusive to each other as well.
Yeah. I know what you're saying though, but it comes with like the hustle that they expect, right? Like, and I haven't worked on Japanese commercials that I remember, but I hear a lot of like 24-hour, 48-hour.
I mean, they're meticulous. And it was funny because I did VTR for it. So I started recording the shot before they lit it, and then I would record it after they lit it, and I would look. And it was always insanely better. Like always.
Really?
It was crazy. And like I couldn't even see it in the beginning. What are they doing? I don't even know. And at the end, it was like a perfect shine on the product, or like everything was crazy.
Wow. It's kind of good you had that opportunity. And then when did you kind of loop around back into TV production? Was it on 50 when we started?
So it's Tori Tukuafu. So it's funny. So we're doing the commercials, and I'd run into Vince Keala Lucero, who I know you had on here.
Yeah.
And we had met on Blood of the Samurai. He was like a camera operator briefly. Him and Gerard had come out and used their dolly jib. It was the first time I'd ever seen a dolly jib. And so they had and it was total like the doorway dolly with the jib on it. And they were in Diamond Head Crater and they were just getting these shots like the whole time. And I'm like, these guys are innovative. I like this. And so, of course, I was interested and talked to them. Kel and I run into each other again on this movie called Public Access. And this guy, Lon Takaguchi.
He just called me. Yeah, Lon.
Yeah. And so we're working on his, and we're just shooting it because I just wanted to shoot it. And it's early on because I've just come back. I haven't been back home that long, I think, when I did Public Access, because I remember driving over H3 to go to his place, thinking how lucky I was to make this drive every day to go to work. Like I never had that. Like I'd been working on the mainland and I never had that beautiful drive. And so and that's how I met Keala. And then that project lasted like a year. It was like a year-long project. Wow. It took Lon a while to finish the movie. Yeah. And I edited a lot of it. And so we met each other, and so we'd always talk story or something. And he had a wedding company, and so I would work on it at his wedding company at times. Perfect. And we were out talking one time, and we're like, we should start a company. And we're like, yeah, let's start a company. And so we were like, all right, let's start a company. And like, you shoot, I'm an editor. Perfect marriage. We'll just
Co-Creative Studios.
Well, we didn't have a name.
Okay.
Right. So we went through a lot of names, and then we landed on Code Creative because I'm a nerd. And so I'm like, oh, it's Code Creative. And he's like, yeah, we're great. We're all high tech and we're going to do all this Code Creative. And I remember I'm on this commercial with, what's the big white Bob guy's last name?
Bob Johnson.
Bob Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And Bob Johnson is there, and we're doing this. It's in a tree house in North Shore, and they put like a line of 18Ks and bounced it into the treehouse. And I was like, this is genius. Right. And they're like, yes. And it was a Japanese commercial. And they're like, this is so there's no shadows and we can just light the treehouse. And I'm like, oh, this is really smart. And Scotty Listeter is there. And I was like, oh, Scotty, Cal and I were starting our company. It's awesome. We're gonna make this company Co-Creative. It's pretty cool. And he's like, Co-Creative, I love it. Co-Creative is such a good name. I was like, no, it's Code Creative. He's like, yeah, Co-Creative, it's great. And I'm like, no, man, it's Code Creative. Oh shit. Co-Creative is way better than Code Creative. And I called Keala like instantly, and he's like, yeah, Co-Creative is the thing. And that's where because he and I were always about collaborating, you know, like from the jump, we've always been about collaborating.
And high tech. And so you guys started going to NAB.
We started going to NAB together and looking for gear, and we bought the first Red camera to Hawaii.
That's what I was getting to, because he told his side of the story, but I wanted to hear what made you guys make this like jump off and say
it's actually really Keala. He's always been that gutsy, and he just put the $100 down. He's like, this thing is cool. And we had seen the SI2K the year before, and we had shot the pilot of that's later. We shoot the pilot of Hawaiʻi Five with SI2K, but the SI2K it had this wrapper, like, so they shot the video, but they had this wrapper for color on it. And we're like, oh, that's really cool. And then Red comes out. Actually, back the story up. This is even before Red. So the DVX 100 is the camera that changed all of us. The DVX 100 starts back at Florida's news channel for me. So I'm in Florida, not even coming home to Hawaii. And my friend Norman L. Britt, who did the music for The Orb, and a good friend of mine, talented filmmaker, and he comes running into my edit bay, and he's like, you got to go look at Panasonic.com. And mind you, my edit bay is like, it's all edit bays where they're like blacked out. So we would spend half the time editing, half the time surfing the internet. That's what we would do. We just surf the net. And so I run and I turn it up and it says DV Cinema. And we're like, what's this? And they're like, it's the first digital film camera, ever to tape. They're saying, it's going to shoot on a 30 frames per second tape, because tape, I don't think HD Cam had come out yet. It may have already come out, but it was the first one that was going to shoot it on this small little tape. And then when you imported it into your nonlinear, it'd be 24. I'm like, this is amazing. It was called DV Cinema. Well, like any product, it takes a little while to launch. And by the time it launches, I've already moved back to Hawaii, and it's the DVX 100, right? And Vince Keala Lucero owns it. Wow. Right? And he shoots this movie called Kissing God, and for this guy, Ron Patricio, who changed his name to a Muslim name, and I don't know his name that he changed it to, but I knew him as Ron Patricio. He had me edit Kissing God when I just came home. So I edited it. Keala shot it. And that's kind of our first interaction because I meet him at HIF and I go, man, what you shot was beautiful. I loved editing it. It was really easy to edit. And we did well at HIF with Kissing God.
Nice.
But one of the best things that we had like Rolling Stones music, like we were like, all the stuff you're probably not supposed to do, which is what made it really, really good. Right. And so he's on the DVX 100 and then he moves to the HVX 100 and he's shooting all these films with us on the DVX 100. He moves over to the HVX 100. We shoot Gerard's All for Melissa on it. It's like one of the first films we shoot with the HVX 100 or HVX, 100, I think. And it's got these P2 cards and we had to download it and we had to invent this system for making 3 copies and naming and we're just looking at the old film thing, just like everything. It's like you look back at film and you see what they did and you kind of emulate it. And so we did, there's this thing called DVX User. That was my whole point. And DVX User was this forum that we'd all go on and we'd talk about our problems and people would help each other and they'd all talk about it. Right. And this guy kept coming on there going, what kind of a digital camera would you want? And we'd be like, blah, 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 and everybody would answer him, right? And for like a couple of years, this guy's doing this. Nobody knew who he was. It's Jim Gennard. And he's starting Red Camera. No way. Right. And so he had already bought Red.com. He bought Red.com in like 2001. He knew he was going to do this. And so then he launches it in 2007, I think, is the Red Camera. And we start our company in 2007. We have the HVX 100. We're shooting with that. And then we get the Red Camera and we're shooting with that. We have our friend Dave Rosen, who was shooters, only shoot on film, hates digital. We introduced him to the Red Camera and he never looked back. I was just with him like a couple weeks ago shooting something for him. And he's like, man, you changed everything. Like I was like all going to do film the rest of my life. I shot on that camera that you guys had and I've never looked back.
That's insane.
And I did a whole Red education class for everybody.
You did?
So what's funny is you got that guy over there, Ruben. He was our idol. Like, cause this is before Red Camera, before that he's got a company, Liquid Planet, which I thought was one of the coolest names ever. And we would look up to them because we're like, man, these guys they're doing it outside of the union.
Yep.
Right. And like Ruben would show up on these, and I was just like some peon. He wouldn't know who I was, but he would show up and he'd be the camera operator and he'd have all the gear and he'd like have all this great stuff. And we'd all sit there going like, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah, this is what we got to do.
This is what we got to do. Like all of us were looking up to him like forever. And so that's kind of why Kel and I started Co-Creative. While we were at Co-Creative, we actually used to make all these TV shows for people, and I'd go to his studio and print it to tape because I didn't own a beta tape deck. So I'd go to his studio, he'd hook us up, like some super cheap, inexpensive. He was really kind to us to try to help us.
He's still hooking it up.
He's still hooking it up. As a matter of fact, I think that's probably his right there, and then that one over there. Because of Ruben. Yeah, that's right. I mean, all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave so much to everybody. He always was, he was always that. And so we started the company, and then we actually were in the back of Super Geeks, and that was the best office I've ever had in my entire life because it was next to a movie theater. So back then it was like 2007, and we did the Johnny Alameda that you mentioned. We did all these documentaries for Kamehameha Schools, and back then it would take like an hour and a half, 2 hours to render stuff, or longer.
Oh my God.
And so I would hit a render, and I'd just go watch a movie. It was like the best life.
Yeah. And then you finally got, because this is kind of where and just like Keiko or Kiko, whatever her name is, I thought you were just a DIT guy.
Oh right, so I haven't even been a DIT yet. So we're at Super Geeks, and we're kind of outgrowing that office because I had gotten 2 more editors, Jeremiah Tayo and Song, and so they're editing for us because we're just pumping out all this stuff and shooting and editing, and so we had outgrown it. So then we went and got this other office in IA.
Yeah, I've been to
office,
that one.
Right,
Yeah.
and so we got that office, and while we're there, we're friends with Tori Tukuafu, right, and he's coming by and he's talking to us about different things, and Tommy Lohman is on Lost with him.
Right.
Michael Lohman, they get him to come shoot this movie One Kind Day with Chuck, the guy, the skateboarding company guy.
I don't know.
Chuck, Mitsui. Yeah,
Okay.
Chuck Mitsui, I think. And so they get him to shoot it. And Tori says, "Oh, these kids out here have a red camera and they, know how to do this stuff and they can help you." So Mike comes to our studio and talks to us. And I'm the same guy that you met on set. And I talk to him the way I talk in all my nerd speak. And he's like, "Yeah, you're the DIT." And I was like, what's a DIT? So I'm like Googling DIT. I'm like, "Oh, I know what DIT is." Yeah,
I can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I know how to do that.
Yeah.
So, because this is like 2009.
Yeah, I mean,
probably.
to be honest, like exactly 2009, where they basically decided like Lost was kind of film, and then when they made the decision to do Hawaii Five-0, they decided, right? Wasn't it digital straight out?
God, Hawaiʻi Five changed my life. So,
Right.
so 2009 we do that, and I get in the union as a DIT
Oh, okay, okay. Oh,
for
okay.
one kind day, $10 an hour. I get my union days. I get in as a DIT, but I didn't pay the money.
Mm.
Like I got accepted in, and
The
then
initiation.
there was no work.
Right.
So I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so I went and stopped paying it, right? And so then Soul Surfer comes about, and I'm on Soul Surfer, and Soul Surfer, I'm a VTR because I'm in 665, and I paid my dues, and I'm an active member there. And I'm on Soul Surfer, and Rick Brock
Right.
says, "Oh, you want to come do this pilot of this TV show?" And I was like, "Oh, I got to leave Soul Surfer a week early." So I get Vince Caola to cover me on Soul Surfer, and I go do Hawaiʻi Five-0, the pilot. And the Hawaiʻi Five-0, the pilot was it was the D20. There was a red camera on it, and there was one other digital camera, probably the F-35. No, it was the F-23. It wasn't even the F-35. And so we're doing it with these 3 different cameras. I see the Arri D20 for the first time in my life, and I was like, "Oh, film is dead."
Really?
Yeah, I was like, this is the first video camera I've ever seen that reminds me of the Panavision video tap that I used to see on Lost. And I was like, and it was crazy because you had to roll the camera and the tape deck. And the tape deck was digital hard drives. And so you had to roll the camera and the deck. And the reason I remember that is because second unit didn't do that. And they sent it back to me to download it. And it was just a still pause of the helicopter that was supposed to blow up.
Oh,
So
no.
That's all it was. The whole tape was just a still pause. They never rolled the camera. They rolled the tape deck, but not the camera.
God.
And that's the early D20. So then the D21 comes out and it gets better. Hawaiʻi Five-0 goes to the F-35 for season 1. And Rick Brock, kind enough, pushes for me to be in the union, tells the union, "Hey, he's a good guy." The union allows me you can now pay your dues and join the union. And I go in as a loader for Hawaiʻi Five-0. So I'm the loader, and there's a DIT there who was really Britt Cyrus, insanely smart guy, and he teaches me all this cool DIT stuff that I kind of already knew, but I didn't know it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I knew it.
Yeah, and the flow with moving with a whole TV show production while your setup was like a thing. Like I remember.
Oh yeah,
I remember you started.
I'm not a DIT. That's why I'm a loader, and he's the DIT.
Oh, I thought you
started. No, I started as a
loader,
loader, and he's the DIT, and so
Oh.
I'm just helping him, and he's teaching me how to make cables and all this
Okay.
stuff. All this stuff that I had learned at PBS in Florida. I was like, "Oh, I know how to do this. Oh, I know how to read a waveform monitor. Oh, I know how to do all this stuff." Like,
And he's like, "Dang."
yeah, like he didn't believe, right? And so we're learning, and then I remember there was a little bit of challenge, and I'm sitting out at the camera truck cleaning something, and the producer comes by and goes, "Angie LaPrette, who I owe so much to because she has been so kind, and she put me on One Kind Day. She helped get me on Hawaiʻi Five-0. Tells the producers, Scott knows how to DIT, right? And they were having some issues, and I think he had to go to Spider-Man or something like that. And so the producer comes up to me and goes, "Oh, I hear you can DIT." And I was like, "Yeah, my goal is to learn from this guy because he's a legendary DIT. He did Avatar. This isn't this is the guy who's the Brian Spice for the first year. I forgot his name.
Oh, yeah, no,
tall white guy from Canada.
Yeah, I know exactly.
So he comes up to me and he says, "Oh, you know how to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's like my goal is to learn as much this year, maybe season 2.
Brad.
It is Brad.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I was like, maybe I can be the DIT for season 2. And he's like, "You should try to take some of those classes sooner." And I was like, "Huh?" And he just walks away. And I was like, "What was that?" Right? Sure enough, something happens, and then those guys have to leave. They tell the DIT that he'll stay on for 2 episodes and train me. So I get the best thing landing in my lap.
Yeah.
Like I am the luckiest guy ever. They just gave me a $500,000 a year job like just given to me.
Yeah.
Because of Angie LaPrette and Rick Brock. Like, and Jeff Downer was all about cheap. So he's like, local, I want this
Perfect.
guy. He didn't know me that well yet then.
Yeah.
He will eventually know me. And so then I was really fortunate. So Britt Cyrus is super kind, and he teaches me a ton of good stuff. And so I do one episode, I think, with him, or maybe two, I can't remember. And then he leaves. And then Ron Garcia is the DP.
Ron.
And Ron Garcia doesn't use a DIT, right? So he doesn't use a DIT. So I get 2 weeks. Oh, and that's why they were a little bit upset with the other guy, because he would play video games on Ron Garcia's episodes, and then he would work on Don Thorne's episodes, right? And so I'm doing the same thing. I have nothing to do, right? So I built my cart.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I spent an entire week and a half of the thing, and I just built my cart. So then now, James L. Carter, when I show up, I got my cart ready for him, and it's going. And so then by the season's ending, I had,
Remember your igloo?
I hadn't bought it. That's season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, season. Oh, no. I bought it season 1. Yep.
I was going to say, I feel like we started with that igloo.
Well, because Britt had one.
Oh, to black everything out so you could color and do everything right there on set.
And pop it up. And you guys used to laugh because I go and I pop it up.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was just like, that's how challenging. Besides your job, you had to, make sure you had a spot set up. You could run cables from. You're out of every shot. It's like.
So imagine too, and it's also you just said it was the changeover from digital to film. So my position was the most hated of all positions, because all the old timers are like, "Fuck that guy!"
Right.
Like, he was never on. This position was never there before.
Yeah.
And then the old timer who's the DP is like, but I need that guy.
The DP is like,
I need that guy because I need him to like check my exposure, set that thing up, and all that stuff.
You know what? I'm gonna say here that a lot of DPs depended on you, especially the ones coming up. You know what I mean? Yep. And they had to match a look for a show, but at the same time, you was there to kind of help guide them from the position you were at. And then you went on to basically be a camera operator over on Magnum P.I, and you did all, was it 3 seasons or 4 seasons of Magnum?
I think it was 5. And then I got to be, the last 2, I got to be director of photography on Magnum P.I. So I mean, I was super fortunate. And it's Angie LaPrette for sure. I mean, it's Tori to start. Tori back in the early One Kind Day. This is my favorite thing he ever did. Is there was this one kid who, I can't remember his name, but he was like a red camera, I know everything guy. And he's sitting there, a cable wasn't working on One Kind Day, and he's heckling me as I'm trying to fix it, right? And Tori goes, "Hey, it's up to Scott. Get away from the camera." Because that's the story. And I was like, wow, thanks, Tori. And then I fixed it, right? Because I was going to fix it, but it was just making it more difficult. And on that same movie, Tommy... Tommy Lohman is on there, and I'm, I operate a little quickly, and so I'm operating really quickly, and Tommy just goes, "Scott, we'll give you as much time as you need. Just take your time."
Right.
And that's where I learned early on is that if I can't figure out how to fix it in like a minute, let's just down the camera. We'll say use the other camera, and I was more valuable to production. I did it on Hawaiʻi Five all the time. Because it's like, instead of sitting there for 20 minutes and then not being successful, I would try for 1, 2 max. And then I'd say, nope, I can't do it. Because that's the thing that people are so afraid to say they can't do something. And that's power. Because by saying I can't do that, or I don't know the answer to that, it's better because now we can move on. We can go grab that camera and we can go get the shot.
Right.
And so many times the camera was bricked because of something simple. We just needed to pull all the power, or we just needed to calmly take it out of the set, and then we can go fix it. But on the middle of everybody panicking, sometimes it's a lot easier to say, no, it doesn't work. And then B camera comes over, does a shot, and then by the time they're done with the shot, A camera's fixed again, and then you bring it back in.
What are you doing nowadays? I mean, TV has gone away. You have any fun passion projects you're working on now?
I mean, that's it. So because of when Magnum ended, I went back to the script to screen production. So I have my own company. And at that company, we write.
What is the name of your company?
Cinemana.
Okay.
We write, we shoot, we edit, and then we put it wherever it needs to go. And so I call it script to screen because that's what we do.
Awesome. And you liking where you're at now, or?
I am, but post-production's a beast.
Yeah.
Like I need help. I found some AI editing software that's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But like that earlier thing I was saying, Rick Rubin, like he said, AI will never have a point of view. That's the hard part with any AI, anything is like AI is good for the tedious stuff that you would hire somebody else to do that's not creative. But the creative stuff, I don't know that it's, I mean, I guess maybe it will eventually do it, but it's still, I think, going to be better when a human makes that point of view, because back to what we were saying, everybody has a story, right? Everybody has a point of view, and it's interesting from their point of view. The biggest thing I learned in writing was there's a number, and it's like there's 13 possible plots. I don't know, maybe it's 28, maybe it's, I don't know, there's a number. Boy meets girl, boy loses girl, the chase, the Odyssey, there's all these ones, and that's it. There's only that many stories that can be told. So every story, the uniqueness of everybody's story is about character, and that's the point of view. So you have a story that's unique to you, and that story would be interesting to some people. And there's 8 billion people on the planet, so I'm sure millions of them would be interested in whatever story it is that you have. And that's for anybody out there. And so everybody's afraid to tell that story. They should just tell it because it's interesting. Like the movie Chaperone that's coming out right now. You know, that's got a great point of view. Local filmmaker. We need more filmmakers doing stuff like that in this world. You know, I've got the Tai Songas of the world. You know, he's got a great point of view. You know, there's Justin Achan.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of them.
I agree. And that's, that's if you are speaking directly to a filmmaker, what is your advice, to them?
It's simple. Make a film. Like, just make a film. I was taught a long time ago that if you make art and you're not dying to show it to people, then you're probably in the wrong business. Like, you should just, art is to be shared and to be interpreted. And you'll notice in life that you're generally judged by people doing less than you. Rarely are you ever judged by people doing more than you. People who are in a higher position than you are generally trying to lift you up and help you. It's usually the people below, and that's the crabs in the bucket mentality, right? And that's what we need to get rid of. And we can, guys with positive attitude like yourself. It's like encourage everybody. Like Greg Lunsgaard is one of my favorite operators. That he used to always say, well, that's one way. Like there is no right way. Like that's what the union frustrated me the most about, is so many union guys were like, no, this is the only way. This is how we did it on Lost. We used to do that on 5-0. This is how we did it on Lost. That's why we're going to do it on 5-0. So when we're on Magnum, it's like, that's how we did it on 5-0. So we're going to do it this way on Magnum. And it used to frustrate me because I was like, man, none of you guys are filmmakers when you want to talk like that. Like a filmmaker is about just feel the direction and go in that direction, trust your gut. Have a plan and go with it. And so my advice to any up and coming filmmaker is just make a film. Just make one, and then make another one, and then make another one, and then make another one. Just keep making them. Start with a small, short one, and then try to make a longer one. And there's this podcast I love listening to is the Roger Deakins, because I think he's one of the most amazing cinematographers. One of the best things he says all the time is, if you're talking about how great my shots are in the movie, then that means the movie failed.
Right.
And he's right.
Yeah. Sometimes not to the filmmaker watching it though, but
yeah, I mean, when a filmmaker's watching it, you're right, because we are going to watch it differently. But to the average person watching it, when they're like, oh,
yep,
that shot was so good, it's like, no, the character, going through the arc, that's what was good,
right? Were you on your toes when you watched that? And that was the important. But I really could talk to you for hours, just like how we would do on set. And I would be that guy asking you all the questions. And maybe because you was that guy asking all the questions, you always answered all of my questions. And I appreciate you coming on here. Like, you're a legend. You've been in this game for a long time, and you've been contributing, like you said in your story, to so many local filmmakers from day one, who now is inspiring the next generation of filmmakers. So I'd like to pay my respects to guys like you, to guys like Ruben, and the people who kind of, it's nice to hear the origin stories of where you guys came from and how you guys came up. Hopefully you guys inspire the next generation, like you guys been doing. So thank you so much for coming on, Scott.
I appreciate you. And like the word kako, let's all do it together. Let's all inspire the next generation to be storytellers.